Well, back at home, it was a step forward for Lloydminster this week, with the city proclaiming Pride Week. As Brittany Matika explains, this is a monumental moment for some of our residents.
The rainbow flag representing the LGBTQ+ Society of Lloydminster is flying high outside City Hall this week. It's a historical moment for the city.
Making sure that we are inclusive of all people, because we have a wide variety of people. We have a strong religious community and church community. We have a strong community of Aboriginal or Indigenous people. So there's certainly different groups within the city, and from a nationalities perspective.
It's definitely progressive. It shows that we're open to ideas, we're open to equality, and it's just a very important step that I think needed to be made here. Obviously, not everybody's going to be 100% on board with what we're doing, but there was a very high positive response to everything that had happened for us yesterday.
Weisner has been met with support from people reaching out to her from across the community.
I was actually overwhelmed to see how much of a positive response there was. A lot of people said, it's about time, this is great. People from Vancouver, Calgary saw the post, were, used to live in Lloyd, and said how proud they were. People who were members of the community and left Lloyd because it wasn't a very open place to be openly gay. It's
certainly important that we be all-inclusive to everyone, and the point being that there's no discrimination.
The LGBTQ+ Society of Lloydminster currently has 130 members and is welcoming anyone to their activities and events. You can watch for them in this year's Colonial Days Parade as they debut their first float. Brittany Matika, Newcap News.
An advocate for Lloydminster residents and businesses is continuing their open dialogue with the city. Today, the Chamber of Commerce touched base with City Council to ensure both institutions are working together. One of the major concerns brought forward by the Chamber was focused on city infrastructure.
And talking about the wastewater treatment plant, kind of what's going on with that, and some updates, and just kind of waiting to hear back in terms of bilateral agreement.
The mayor says he values input from the chamber.
We've grown to a great relationship with a large chamber of commerce, well ran. It's been here for a long time, and we do things together, and we'll continue to do that.
Mayor Albers adds the wastewater treatment plant remains the city's #1 infrastructure priority. Well, in the past, the city has commissioned students across both school divisions for mural projects to celebrate events happening in town. These pieces are then displayed in various city facilities. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we meet a Lloyd Comp student who created a piece of artwork to commemorate Canada's 150th birthday. This is Shelby Pierce's Canada 150 themed mural.
I asked my friends what they thought of when they heard the word Canada, and I took the most non-cliche ones.
The Vimy Ridge Monument is the focal point of her piece, surrounded by other classically Canadian elements like the Peggy's Cove Lighthouse, the maple leaf, and symbols of Indigenous culture.
She's my go-to person, and I knew that she would do an amazing job of it. I gave her the theme and a few suggestions, but I just kind of wanted to see what she would do with it. I knew that she'd be pretty creative with it.
The project took 2 months to complete, but now the labor of love is ready to be showcased just in time for the country's milestone celebration. A surreal feeling, according to Pierce.
It feels a little weird, but it feels awesome at the same time because I get my art somewhere permanently.
Something Smith says is great for the visual arts department.
It's just a great opportunity to have an authentic audience for our students' art and really showcase what they can do. And Shelby's one of our senior artists, so it's just really nice to see her getting some recognition. 20
murals were submitted by students across all grades and divisions with the Canada 150 theme, and Pierce was the sole artist from LCHS. As for her favorite element of the patriotic project,
I really like how the lighthouse turned out.
I was pretty amazed just at how detailed it was, and it was nice to see a lot of her painting techniques going into the work.
No word yet on where exactly the artwork will be on display. Nicole Stilger, Newcap News.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Explore the college's new full-time hairstyling program at the Lloydminster campus. Classes start this fall.
Poutine Week is back, and our Michaela Henschel had the tough task of taste testing a couple of unique poutines to celebrate the nation's milestone birthday.
All right, so we're here at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre, and it's Poutine Week. We're celebrating Canada's 150th birthday, and what better way to celebrate than with some poutine? I'm here with Chef Chad Dino, and tell us a little bit about, you have 10 different types of poutines to celebrate the week here.
We're doing a variety of poutines from all kinds of like eggs Benedict to dessert poutines to an all meat poutine. The cheese curds are actually made in Vermilion by the Old School Cheesery, and they're the closest thing to the authentic cheese curd you can get.
So you guys have hosted a poutine week before, and it was so successful you guys decided to bring it back. What's different on the menu this time?
We have a pulled pork poutine that's on the menu, a chipotle poutine, chicken chipotle poutine, and the eggs Benedict poutine.
Okay, and eggs Benedict and poutine are some of my favorite foods, so the fact that you've combined them is unbelievable. What's your favorite poutine on the menu?
Would have to be the taco. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone can come down here until July 1st to get some poutine, and I think we're going to taste test these right now. So let's start with the eggs Benny. What's on this poutine?
I've got, of course, the cheese curds. I've got hollandaise sauce, ham, eggs, and green onions.
Green onions. Wow, this is like a heaven in a dish right now. So is there any gravy?
No, we're using the hollandaise sauce as the gravy.
Amazing. Okay. I feel like you got to get a little bit of everything on this. Wow. That is unbelievable. That is so good. And you came up with this one? Amazing. Okay. Now, something really unique to your Poutine Week is a dessert poutine. Yep. So tell me about this one.
It's sweet potato fries. We decided to try it out with a little bit of caramel sauce. There's an apple crisp and a good wedge of ice cream on it.
I mean, how do you come up with this?
No, it was just throw it together and try it, and it turned out actually to be pretty good.
So far, what's been the most popular one?
I would have to say the taco poutine's been the best seller, and this one would come in the next, probably around there.
I mean, you could start with the taco one and then finish off with the dessert poutine, I think. Okay, let's dig into this one. Definitely need some ice cream.
Oh, yes.
It's so good. It's so good.
That is good.
Wow. I've never had something like that. That's unbelievable.
It makes you want to come back for more.
Yeah, so I'm going to finish eating these. Thank you so much for joining me and talking about Poutine Week. So yeah, head down to the Lloydminster Curling and Golf Center till July 1st and get Canadian. I mean, what's more Canadian than this?
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, this past weekend gave fans one last opportunity to see the Lloydminster Extreme Junior B Lacrosse team in action before playoffs begin, and the team did not disappoint. Lance Phillips gives us some insight into just what this team is doing right at just the right time.
The Lloydminster Extreme have improved their game to a point not yet seen this season, and that continued Friday against Vermilion. The teams battled through a scoreless first before the Extreme scored 7 over the next 2 frames, earning the 7-2 win.
Second half of the second period and third period were phenomenal from us. We really took control of that game when we needed to. 3-1 is not really a secure lead in lacrosse, and it was good. The fellas, finally started listening a little bit after the second period and just started correcting the things that we really needed to correct.
There's a lot of movement. We were setting the picks where we had to, rolling off. It needs to get a little bit better. It's not as we know we can be a lot better, but it was good tonight.
After a dismal effort June 11th against Sherwood Park, the Extreme have won 3 of 4, a trend the team attributes to one key change in their game.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of passion. It's just a lot more hustle from our core group of guys, and everyone's just been clicking a lot better. The offense has been moving. We've just been driving each other really well.
Oh, we're putting in great efforts. You can't hate on that effort one bit. Everybody was going 100%. You could tell there's definitely been some motivation since that lackluster effort we brought. But you can't teach effort, and that effort was definitely brought tonight.
One reason the Extreme have been hot of late is due to the work being put in between the pipes. Goaltending has been superb this season, especially from Boyer, a guy who has and will be heavily relied on.
He's our rock back there, big stops, big timely stops when we needed to stop their momentum. We didn't score a goal in the first period, and we didn't score until 7 minutes in the second. And and he really backstopped us for a while there.
The defense, they shut down their top scorer. They're kind of a one-player team. a lot of the time it's just him doing their main scoring, and kept all the shots outside, a few breakdowns, and I was able to make the saves I had to, and yeah, they were awesome. They made my job really good tonight, really easy.
We're a team that can compete with the best teams in this league, and I have full confidence that we should be going deep in a deep playoff run, and as long as we bring that effort and we take care of the ball, those are our two Achilles heels, and we got a great goaltender. He's going to carry us.
Friday was one of those rare nights where the Extreme fielded a full 18 players. However, not in the lineup was Brad Gorgon. The offensive threat injured his knee earlier in the week and is out for the remainder of the season. And it's a void the team is going to need to figure out how to fill, with the Edmonton Wizards in town to start playoffs July 8th. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
For 31 drivers of the CPCA Pro Tour, Week 5 is on the horizon in Onion Lake. But for one driver, Week 2 just ended, and after a showing he'd like to forget in Dewberry, the Tour's only rookie had a much better showing in Wainwright. Louis Stanley started in Wainwright the way he finished in Dewberry, without a time. Despite that, he finished the weekend strong around the track, giving the first-year driver encouragement going forward.
Oh, it was a lot better than past weekend, but it could have gone a little bit better, but I enjoyed it. I had fun.
It's clear every week provides a new adventure for Stanley. Not always good, but not always bad, particularly when he considers what he learns each time out on the track.
I learned a lot, actually. It could have gone a bit better for me, but I was a little nervous, and I wasn't really thinking when I was going into barrels. I had my mind on a lot of things.
Barreling has been the toughest adjustment for the 21-year-old. Upon reflection, Stanley knows what he's doing wrong, but the correction isn't as simple as it sounds.
It's the horses and me. I'm holding them off a little too tight going in, and even when after the horn goes, I'm still holding them back a little bit. You live and you learn. So.
Now, Stanley has repeatedly stated how much he loves the sport, and his hope is that love spurns him up on the leaderboard.
It takes a lot of driving and a lot of experience to get to where these guys are, and hopefully I get there someday.